Hey guys, what's up? Nico again here. And in this 3D Printed Profits episode, I have with us Zoltan. Zoltan, where are you coming from, man?
Hi, I'm originally from Hungary, but I live in the United States, right now in Utah.
Utah. All right, so you're about 2 hours ahead. So, as always, we're just going to talk about Zoltan's business, how he got started, so on and so forth. But before we start, make sure you guys join us in the 3D Printing Side Hustle group to look for that. The link for that is in the description below. And make sure you guys stay to the very, very end where I'm going to give you your own product idea for your own 3D printing business. All right, so let's start. Zoltan, welcome to the show, man.
Hi, thanks for the invite and the opportunity.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. So let's start with your background. What is it that you do? Like, is 3D printing still a side hustle for you, or is this a full-time gig?
Well, I do 3D printing as full time, but also I do web design, so it's part.
Okay. Um, and so what is it that you sell?
I sell dragons mainly,
All right.
and like from other designers, and but yeah, with different, I'm experimenting with different filaments and with different colors.
Okay. Um, Now let's start with the business part. How much are you making currently on the business?
Well, uh total so far what I made is I opened up since October last year, end of
Mm-hmm.
October, and 40,000 dollars.
Wow, that's
And
not bad.
we are getting into the holiday season, so I'm expecting to be way more.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
That's the most busiest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can only imagine. So you sell a lot of the dragons, you said, right? Do you sell so you said you mainly sell the dragon. What else do you sell aside from that?
I do sell other like dice boxes, and also Switch game holders, 3DS game holders, jewelry box holders, and well, I'm gonna add extra items. I would like to do aquarium, bubblers.
I gotcha. Okay. And so let's start from the very beginning here. How'd you get started in 3D printing? Like how did you come across it?
Well, I during COVID, I saw people are 3D printing the um, like these mask holders for the hospitals,
Mm-hmm.
and I looked into 3D printers, and not until later I found that at a thrift store a brand new Qidi X Pro, but was really cheap. Like it's an enclosed printer, $150, came with like $400 worth of filament. So I paid 150, figured, well, if it's a failed venture, then I'm just gonna, lose $150. I would just resell the filaments. But I started doing it and I really liked it. And then I saw on TikTok a product that I really liked that I thought, oh, I can sell that. I think really easy.
And what
Uh,
was that product? Was that the dragon?
no, that was a Pokeball, the ancient Pokeball.
Okay.
That
Okay.
the Legends of Arceus game didn't came out. I mean, it came out this year, February, and I really liked the model. I wanted to print it myself, and I saw how the creator sold over 300 overnight, and I
Oh
figured,
wow.
yeah, that was crazy, and it was true. Because nobody else did that before. It was early on, and yeah, I joined his Patreon, tried to print it, but with the Qidi, it wasn't good, the tolerances, so it didn't really. I couldn't make it work. I did a lot of research, and I came up with I'm gonna Prusa MK3S Plus kit because I heard really good thing about it. And as I said, the unit was extremely tolerance heavy. It had to be because it was a snap-on design without glue. And yeah, I built my first Prusa MK3S Plus, started printing it, and October, that was in September. And by end of October, I had my shop. I dialed in everything that I could, ordered the filament, and then started selling. And by December, I had 5 Prusa MK3S Plus fully paid.
Nice. So you started with the Prusa, right?
Yes, one Prusa
Okay,
print.
so your initial investment was about $800.
Yeah, 850, I think. But yeah, I
850.
assembled it. Yeah.
That's not bad, man. And you basically turned $850 to $40,000, 42, right?
Yeah. Well, by December, I bought fully assembled machines from Facebook Marketplace and your Voron Discord group. The Voron people are really nice. They are because they sell the Prushas because they move into the Core XY and they took care of it. Like whoever builds a Voron, they know what they are doing most of the time. And yeah, I got good deals on that. On average, like I paid like maximum yeah, by that time $800 like fully assembled
That's not
Prusa.
bad.
So I had by end of December because I had to. I've got like 20 orders a day up
Damn.
until 20th of December, and it was I started October 23rd, and up until November, like Thanksgiving, it was kind of slow. I sold like 3, 4, 5 a week, but then after Thanksgiving, it just went up like 10, and by December was 18, and I only did that time the Pokeballs.
I see. And so how did you get your first customers and your first clients? Did you just kind of make a shop and then, it's up
It
to
was a
Etsy now?
yeah, it was a unique item. There was a shop that had like over 5,000 or something sales, and I was like overwhelmed. Like, how am I gonna compete with such an established store? They had a lot of reviews too, like over 1,000. But I figured, you know what, I can do it too. I will try to make different. So what I did, and this is something that I try to like tell people, don't necessarily like you can do the product research, market research, but make sure that not entirely copy the other store because you are just gonna sell the same thing. Then the market eventually gonna be saturated, and then you are lucky if you sell one or two. You need to improve upon the product, make something that the other person doesn't do with it. And there is plenty of other items that you can take the modification, and with a little bit of design skill, you can implement into other product. Yeah, that even with dragons, you can make a lot of modification in sense of accessories and I'm just saying something, make it into a fridge magnet. And it's not just with the dragon you can do, but you can do any other product as well. Make it into a fridge magnet, or that's just an example.
There
Or
you go. And so what happened next? Did your shop just pick up speed?
yes,
Like Etsy was like, oh, this is a good shop. People are buying it. People are interacting with the shop, and your shop just went boom. It just went up.
yeah, I truly believe this is the key. If you have a lot of sales, a lot of people have your product in the cart, and then you're getting reviews, Etsy will take your shop, and no amount of advertisement will do what they can do when they feature and push your shop. It is just, and I even had a time like in February. So basically, like in January, it was really slow. So after Christmas, nobody bought anything between, or barely, like one or two I sold a week. It was really slow December 20th and up until January 5th. Then it went back to like the early November, only 5 a week. Even, by the way, um, but hold on a second. So I uh, I also sold to famous YouTubers as well. That was actually a really interesting thing too. Like famous people ordered from me dragons, and
Who are these famous people? I'm interested.
yeah, uh, Austin John's played. He bought Pokeballs from me.
Austin John.
Plays.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's a famous YouTuber with
Oh,
millions of followers. But yeah, there was an issue with filaments. So as a hurdle, what I experienced is because I had to mass produce the items during the Christmas rush. And while I bought new printers, the filament supply, for example, the wood filament, the company that was making it, they just pulled it off from their Amazon store. So suddenly I had to find a same filament from another supplier. And yeah, that was really a hurdle. And then I had to invest into better nozzle. They shipped it, it was wet. I had to put it in 18 hours or so to the filament dryer to even make it print. And then parts of it, of the design, broke off because it was really brittle. So I struggled for like 20 days to figure it out what to do. And I found tungsten carbide nozzle because wood was abrasive, so it wore out the nozzle.
yeah. So it's kind of like printing with the carbon fiber blends, right? So the
Yeah,
brass nozzles, they burst
yes,
open. I know my 0.6 nozzles end up being like a 1 by the time I'm done printing just one carbon fiber blend.
yeah, that tungsten nozzle. I had hardened steel nozzle. I ordered from Amazon. People were telling me it's good, nozzle X. I said, I don't care how much money is. I need to make the product. And it was really stressful. Thankfully, the orders were really slow in January, early January. So I had time to figure this out. But yeah, hardened, the tungsten carbide it's $50. They are always out. Thankfully, I got notification that it's back in store. I bought one and it fixed most of the issues. So the wood was perfectly printing. And thankfully, because on January 25th, in February, the game came out, and then I just got like 300 orders. Like Etsy had to close, like put me on forced vacation mode because
You
I
had
sold
so many orders. So Etsy
so
put
many
you on
orders.
forced vacation mode to keep
Yes,
up with the orders. How
yeah,
many machines do you have now?
I have 10
You have 10. So you grew from one machine to now 10. And
in
are
like
these
4.
machines producing at capacity at all times?
Yeah, like in 3 months of that time, I grow to 10. And then because the limitation of this is like started out as a side hustle, and it still is. I will see by the end of the year how it's going to be this Christmas because now I'm more prepared. I realized printing on demand, the drawback is that if something happens to your machine, then or you can't produce that. You have to set the shipping time back. And I call
Okay.
this,
So you keep an inventory then.
you have to, yeah, you have to prepare for the holiday season because people go crazy. Like they want it right now. Imagine that a lot of people in December, they just realize, oh my gosh, it's December 15th. I need ASAP a gift to somebody. And then they have to go to Etsy and they will order who doesn't have it a week out, their shipping time, or 2 weeks. A lot of people does that because if you print on demand, if a product you can only print like 8 a day or 16 a day, but you're getting like 20, 25 orders, you can't. You have to set the shipping time backwards, or else you get what's happened to me. You can only hold 100 order with Etsy that will trigger the AI to put you immediately to force vacation mode. And then you can do your existing listing will be, if you will be able to
and you're not allowed to go back on your regular mode unless you fulfill orders, right?
Yeah, you can. The option is not available. They will. You have to fulfill all the order. They sent me an email. I did it in 2 weeks. I shipped it all out. It was really, really hard. I had to put the machines on, like, you can dial the speed up to like 200%. It run, I think the quality it went down a little bit on the domes, because if it's too high speed, it creates kind of like a prism effect with domes. So that's some downside, but I had to send it out. There was no if, no buts. I figured, as this is another thing that I would advise to people to prepare. Like, I'd rather handle a bad review and send out when it's lower again the product and the price. This is another thing. When you're only doing it on a $5 profit, you can't fix issues like this. You can just send out if a product breaks, you have to send it out. It's a total loss. It's even
Right,
more.
because you still got to pay. You got to pay for shipping again. You have to use
Yeah.
your product, material. I agree.
And,
That's and what a lot of people don't understand that you have to make sure that you price it accordingly, and you're not just pricing just because it was able to be cheap for you to make doesn't mean you should sell it for cheap either.
yeah, I mean that this is another aspect that I wanted to talk about as well. Yeah, like pricing properly. You have to provide a warranty. There's Etsy has like I think now it's a new thing it did not have before. It usually cost me $1 to insure the product. Dealing with USPS is almost impossible. They will fight you on anything. They don't want to pay anything, even if it's their fault. They don't care. But the Etsy insurance, basically, I had a good experience with it. One of the dragons, because used to be like the Cinnowing dragon was with rods. It was prone to break if somebody was opening it too roughly. Or, I mean, I even stomped on the box that I did because I wanted to see how and durable I package. And I get 5-star reviews on my packaging because it's like, oh, it's so tight. It was so amazing. The seller really take into consideration shipping. Yeah, I mean, I was really brutal with a test box, and I couldn't break it. So, but they claimed they opened it up. It was broken. Thankfully, now there is better designs, not using rods. For
Speaking of
example,
design, do you sell designs as well? Do you do any design?
yeah, I created my own inserts that I'm exclusively selling.
When you say
Um,
what are inserts?
like for example, there is the standard. Like I'm just saying, like there is, as an example, a Zelda Ruby holder. Usually, it's designed, for example, for Nintendo Switch. But then you can, if you know, like, but it's only came with Nintendo Switch game holder insert. Now you can use it for take it out, and then it's an empty box. You can put whatever in it. So the designer allows you to be creative, but then you can design to it like to hold 3DS games or Game Boy Advance or any other thing you can imagine that people would need and modify it. So I make modifications to existing products that didn't came with potentially um, That's another thing that I'm thinking to sell, put my design up to Code 3D and just popular items. I say, hey, here is a 3ds insert. You can download, buy it. I mean, it doesn't even break IP because it's just the insert, and what they do with it, it's another
I see.
question.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
So dude, that's really it for me. What's your number one tip for people who want to start their own 3D printing business?
So basically, they have to realize that total sales are not equal net income, and you have to figure it out. What is your profit margin? I see a lot of people using like these Excel calculators, but I think it's way more simple if you put it not an exact number but a ballpark. How much I operate on a 50% profit so far, what I see. So I would have to sell $200,000 worth of product, like anything right now, like for example, dragons, in order to make $100,000 in cash, which I'm still have to pay tax on it because this includes all the business expense being deducted from it, including like I had to buy 5 more Prusa printers, so it's like $5,000 roughly came off of the total. So, but I mean, I know a lot of people use the cheaper machines, but it's way harder to be reliable, especially when you're pushing them 24/7. Yeah, like, and always have spares. Like one of these rushes when my shop was on force location mode, I was losing sleep. I slept like 2 hours a day, and then I changed the nozzles up to 0.6 because I needed to be faster, and that's not the time for testing. The nozzle worked, but I didn't see the cables, the heater thermistor, and the heater cartridge cable sagging on 3 machines, and it just tore it out. I did not have any spares. Now I always have spares, and then you have to figure it out where you're gonna order it. Obviously, like Amazon, it's easy shipping, right? Like fast, but they send me a 12-volt one, but I need 24-volt one that blow a fuse. So there's like a lot of learning thing in it, and yeah, be prepared. And also Filament, you have to have it in stock because you sell a lot and then suddenly they are out of stock and they put it, oh, it's in December. Ooh. We will have the item back in February.
Yeah.
Like,
all right. So I told everybody that if you guys stay to the very end, I'll give you your own product idea for your own 3D printing business. And today's product idea are paint palettes. Like these kinds of things. These things where, you just put paint on. Now, I know you can get these for $1, but these are the cheap kinds, right? So how can you make this, modify it, exchange, and change it up to appeal to painters, right? Maybe you can add something in here that they can hold their brushes. Maybe you can have a little like teeth at the very ends right here where you can scrape the paint off so you don't have so much paint, right? How can you modify a paint palette like this and make it better? All right. So that's today's product idea. Zoltan, thank you so much for being on the show, man. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys tune in Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific for new episodes just like this.
Thank you.